So another day, another just weird situation, with Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever and people around. We obviously have seen the Scott Agnes article here, where he basically said that Caitlin Clark, that Caitlin Clark brings a dark side to the Fever, and her fans are like a negative on the team, and it's a struggle dealing with her fans.
Are the Fever really thinking about trading Caitlin Clark? Sounds absurd, right? But the internet's buzzing louder than a broken shot clock, and the energy around the situation is getting stranger than a halftime dance-off. Did she play too well? Smile too bright? Move too much merch? Something's off, and it's not just the locker room playlist. Stick around as we dive into the drama, connect the clues, and possibly expose the most brainless front office blunder in WNBA history. Popcorn ready? This is about to get hotter than one of Caitlin's logo threes.
Good win by the Indiana Fever today versus the Seattle Storm, but I got a big concern with Caitlin Clark, man. So looks like the Fever have been figuring things out, man. So let's just say Clark comes back toward the end of the season. Fever do their thing in the playoff. Let's just say, for the sake of my argument, the Fever win the championship, man. With Caitlin Clark having missed pretty much most of the regular season, would this championship not hold that much weight? Because I can already see the haters saying she missed most of...
Let's be real. If the Fever actually traded Caitlin Clark, they might as well toss "We Quit" flyers into the crowd with every game ticket. Think Indiana traffic is bad? Wait until you witness the fan exodus the second she puts on another jersey. We're talking about the most marketable, most talked about, most searched athlete in all of women's sports. And they'd give that up for what? A half-empty Gatorade bottle and a second-round pick in 2028. Come on.
He literally said, and he was like, there are some people that are not here for basketball, not here for the Fever, but are only here for Caitlin Clark. It's like, if you're a fan of a player and you're here for the basketball and you're there watching games and everything, you're a fan of a player playing basketball. I don't see there's an issue with that. And according to his thing, to him, he was talking about how it was such a struggle for the team, and obviously someone who has access to the team. And he mentioned that, the fans coming on saying,
if the Fever pulled the trigger on a Caitlin Clark trade, their arena would go from packed house to echo chamber faster than you can say worst trade in sports history. Right now, Clark is the show. She's not just selling out arenas, she's selling out entire cities. Every time she hits the hardwood, concession stands get cleaned out, merch tables look like they've been hit by a Black Friday riot, and somehow every grandma in America suddenly owns a number 22 jersey. And you're telling us they'd just toss that away like an old box score? Be serious.
Disappointed in Sophie's take is that, she's right. It's just that she did say, and I thought this was a better explanation, she was saying that when she played in Phoenix, that she was in the locker room, and so many of the players in the locker room were saying things like, oh, we're going to show Caitlin Clark what the W is really about, and would sort of go after her. And in some ways you can understand that because she was a rookie in the league. But ultimately, when you see all this vitriol of people who cannot stand her, it's like, okay, well, what has she done wrong? Yeah, she's a great basketball player.
The math ain't mathing. You don't trade the one player who flipped your franchise from background noise to must-see TV. Before Caitlin Clark, most of the WNBA couldn't pick the Fever logo out of a lineup. Now, they are the Beyoncé of the league, front, center, and trending daily. That's not a coaching miracle. That's Caitlin.
A badass and a trash talker, and gives it as good as she gets it. And she is an object of scorn for good reason. She's awesome. She's swaggery. She does turn your home crowd into a road crowd. She is a frustrating player to guard all of it. And if she is, for some of these teams, a bit of a villain, that's sweet. It only will make her better. She is already one of the 3 or 4 best players in the sport, as a lot of us thought she would be in short.
If the Fever actually pulled the trigger on a trade, they'd be firing their last shot at staying relevant. Because let's be honest, Caitlin Clark isn't just a player, she's a one-woman media empire. Cameras chase her like she's got unpaid debts. Every shot she takes goes viral. ESPN, podcasts, TikTok, you name it. Trade her, and that spotlight, gone, poof, vanished, like your playoff hopes by mid-June. And here's the kicker. Whatever team lands her instantly becomes America's team. Doesn't matter if it's Seattle, Minnesota, or a city with more livestock than stoplights. You throw a number 22 jersey on the rack, and suddenly that franchise has more fans than the Super Bowl. The bandwagon won't roll. It'll fly meanwhile. The Fever would be stuck in a half-empty arena trying to sell fans on a gritty rebuild. Cute. As if going from 2,000 people and a popcorn stand to sold-out stadiums was about defense and community outreach. That's like thinking people go to Disneyland for the churros. No, they come for Mickey Mouse, and Caitlin Clark is Mickey Mouse.
Posted this about Caitlin Clark to give like the official what is going on with Caitlin's injury. So they said Caitlin Clark underwent further medical evaluations earlier this week, which confirmed that no additional injuries or damage was discovered. Clark will continue working with the medical team on her recovery and rehabilitation with the priority on her long-term health and well-being. There is no timetable available for her return. But I do think it's interesting that ESPN has listed August 12th as a possible return date for Caitlin Clark. But the internet noticed something specific that Holly Rowe had to say on the broadcast. Holly Rowe said that before the last return after a quad injury, she had...
This isn't just a fan base, it's a full-blown cultural movement. These fans aren't casually tuning in. They are flying cross-country, flooding timelines, and turning WNBA League Pass into the summer's most in-demand subscription. And you think they are sticking around to cheer on the next chapter if Clark's out here sinking logo threes in a different jersey? Be serious. They'll follow her like Swifties on tour, only with better form at the free throw line. But there's this delusional idea floating around that once Clark's gone, the Fever will stay competitive and the fans will stay loyal. To that, I say, best of luck. Unless you've got a lab-built superhuman who can drain threes, run point, sell out arenas, dominate MVP voting, and cure existential boredom, all before tip-off, you're not getting close. You're getting dust, echoes, and regret. And let's talk money. Trading Caitlin Clark wouldn't just be a basketball blunder, it would be financial malpractice. Letting her walk would be the sports equivalent of Apple firing Tim Cook and handing the company over to a Roomba. Just imagine the earnings call.
She didn't play most of the games to get them to the playoffs, all of that. She won a championship and she was hurt most of the season, and the team was out there winning games without her. I can already see people saying that, man. So I'm just curious, man, because I'm thinking like, damn, Clark has missed a lot of this time. You play the regular season and get to the playoffs. Clark has missed, most of the season so far. So if she won a title this year, having been injured most of this season, and then her first championship would be her being hurt most of the time, how would that championship rank for y'all? Would it not hold that much weight? Would it just be, a win is a win?
And let's not even entertain the maybe it's best for both sides narrative. Best for who? Exactly. The accountant's trying to balance books after the merch guy realizes nobody's buying team effort shirts. The poor PR intern stress writing apology tweets at 2 a.m. to explain why the arena echoes like an empty gym class. This isn't addition by subtraction, it's subtraction by delusion. Trading Caitlin Clark would be the textbook definition of self-sabotage. A masterclass in burning your own house down and then handing yourself a medal for reinventing fire. The only thing you're adding is chaos and a guaranteed wave of where did it all go wrong? Think pieces. Because at this point, it's bigger than basketball. It's brand. Identity, momentum, cultural gravity. Unless the Fever have secretly cooked up a plan to clone Caitlin Clark, upgrade the sass, crank up the range, and somehow make her look even cooler in slow motion, there is no trade package worth the fallout. No bundle of picks, prospects, and polite promises can fill seats, light up scoreboards, and break the internet like she does.
If Caitlin Clark were not in the WNBA, we would not be talking about the WNBA. She is the only ticket draw in the WNBA. A large percentage of all tickets sold in the WNBA are so people can watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. No one cares about Angel Reese. She'd be drawing flies if she were playing not against Caitlin Clark on the court right now. Angel Reese has basically become the Bill Laimbeer to Caitlin Clark's Larry Bird.
At the end of the day, the message couldn't be clearer. You don't trade the sun and expect the planets to keep orbiting like nothing happened. Trade Caitlin Clark, and the entire galaxy shifts. Just pray you're not the ones left frozen in the dark. And this is where logic checks out and delusion somersaults in. Because somehow, the people running this franchise seem to believe fans are tuning in for the Fever. As if the logo, the jersey colors, or the word Indiana has some magical grip on millions. like a mid-range jumper from not Caitlin Clark is what's keeping the nation glued to their screens. Spoiler alert. It's not. This fanbase would follow Clark to the worst team in the league before pretending to care about a well-balanced roster. Without her, they are not here for a rebuild. They are here for the Clark cinematic universe. They didn't sign up for the ensemble cast. They came for the main character. And that was proven loud and clear last season. Fans watched every Iowa game like it was Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Then the moment the Fever season ended, poof, the ratings dropped, the stands emptied, and social media went radio silent. It was like someone hit the emergency Caitlin's gone button and the whole show shut down.
That she's the face of the league, and that's understandable because there have been fantastic players in the WNBA for a long time. But Caitlin didn't disparage them. She just came in and kind of changed the game with her style. So I think it's one of those things where you have to say, okay, maybe I don't think it's fair based on the previous women who have been in this league, but it's not Caitlin's fault. All she's done is elevate the game for all of us. And I think instead of being pissed off about that, you should be appreciative of that and say, maybe it's not fair, but it's not